So you are at this networking event, you've geared yourself up, you're so excited, and the most important person you've been trying to connect with is standing right in front of you. They've just magically materialized. How do you hold on to this person's name? This is so critical because it communicates you matter. It communicates, I am listening to you. It communicates, I'm open. I really want to have a relationship with you. Maybe you're not even at a networking event, because this happens to me socially as well. Maybe you've just met somebody and you're super interested in this person. You think like, wow, this could really be like a deep friendship for me. This one is really special. Or maybe, and I have to admit, I haven't had this experience in a really long time. Maybe you're on the dating circuit and you meet somebody who you think is truly special and you want them to understand, like, I want to take it to the next level with you. How do you do that if you can't even remember the person's name? Check, please. That's not a good game. That is not going to work for you. So here's some simple hacks that I've used in the past that help me remember somebody's name, especially when it's really important to me. Number one, I look the person in the face, and when they tell me their name, I repeat it to them. That is a pro move. Repeat the name as you shake the person's hand or give them a hug or whatever. And to me, it's something to the case of like, oh, Lerato, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Lerato, what a beautiful name. Lerato, that means love in South Africa, right? Like the English translation is love. So tell me the love story that made your parents choose that particular name. See what I've done there? I've taken this one fact that they've told me about themselves, and I've also turned it into a moment for additional context. I've asked for a story around that name. If you can do that, if you can find an elegant way to take somebody's name, it doesn't have to be only a name that is an unusual name. And I can tell you, my name is Magogodi. Please don't do this as like a weird thing where you put somebody on the spot and make them feel awkward because their name is not like the mainstream name. Only use it as it makes sense and as it's appropriate. There's so many times people have said to me something like, oh, Magogodi, that is a very unusual name. What's the story of that name? And I often feel like, oh, this person, depending on tone, of course, and all of these other things in context, I feel like this person is inviting me into a genuine conversation and they're genuinely curious about me. Then there's other moments where people use my name, which is a little unusual, as an opportunity to make me feel othered. Do not do that. And I know you're not the kind of person who's going to do that, right? Like, you're listening to this, you're an amazing human being, you're not in that category. But I just want to be really clear. The invitation to somebody who you care about, for them to expand on their name or to share a story that might be an intimate story about their name, you need to treat that with care, and you need to ask them in a way that is respectful and mindful and also makes sense for the context of where you are. In some moments, it's kind of not appropriate at all, right? All right, so we've already said two things. Number one, say the name as many times organically as makes sense. Number two, as they introduce themselves. Number two, ask them to share a little bit more about their name. Maybe it's a story about how they were born and how their parents decided on that name. It may be a common name. It may be something that's like in the movies, like Maverick, that's a famous person. And apparently his grandmother really liked a character on a Western show who was named Brett Maverick. So that's how he got his name. If you know something like that and it rings a bit of a bell, like, oh wait, I've seen another Maverick on cinema. Are you related? Is that like how you got your name? That could be a connection point. So find a way, if you can, and it's organic. This is not something you absolutely have to do, to ask for that name in context and through a story, because it will help you make that name a little bit more sticky, okay? And then number three, is there someone in your world, in your life already who has that name? Because Power of association to your brain is such a beautiful way of activating memory. And if you can think of that person and then think of this new friend that you've just made, the person in front of you, you kind of connect them. You help the wires in your brain be like, oh, ding, 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 ding. These things are associated. So next time I see this person, I've already thought the mental picture in my mind. Courtney. Courtney is a very dear, beloved friend of mine, lives in Colorado. I'm meeting a Courtney over here. I could even maybe say it out loud. Oh, my best friend's name is Courtney. It's such a pleasure to meet you. You're already one of my favorite people. See what I did there? I'm telling my brain, hey, store this information, same place where you store Courtney. And I'm also at the same time bringing this person in closer to me because I'm telling them something truthful. Courtney is one of my best friends. And for you to be named Courtney means I'm already all ears to everything that you have to say. So let's continue building this relationship, right? Another hack that you can use, and I do this a lot, after somebody has introduced themselves to me and given me their name, I repeat the name as often as I can when the moment is right in conversation. Like let's say it's a little bit quiet, or maybe we're listening to remarks. I turn discreetly and look at the person. I'm memorizing, I'm locking that person's face with their name in my head. And I'll say it over and over again in my head. Sometimes I'll say it out loud. If you're at a networking event and you meet a whole circle of people and it's just like, hi, Tom, hi, Courtney, hi, Anne, hi, Sarah, hi, Lerato, hi, Kelebogile. Your brain is just like, what am I doing over? I'm just in a soup. Pause. Go slow. Shake everybody's hand, repeat it to them as you shake it. And then when you're done with the circle, maybe it's at a wedding, look around the whole table and you're doing everybody a favor, trust me, and say those names again. So Lerato, Kelebogile, Sarah, Anne, Courtney, and Tom. Hey, did I get that right, everyone? Pop quiz, did I get it right? What you've just done, if you say it out loud, is you also help everybody else in the room to remember names that they probably just forgot just as quickly as you did. And my final 2 tips for remembering people's names. One is something that you can use in a situation that makes sense, like an interview, or if you're a speaker and you're standing at a podium and people are asking you questions, you already have a pen and paper in front of you. Use it. Write down their names. You could also do this if you're offering something virtually and you see people coming into the room and they have their names written right there. So that's kind of a cheat sheet because you can just read their names. But sometimes your brain plays tricks on you. Write those names down. So when you're responding to a question, attach the name to the question. It makes people feel really seen and heard and like you're paying attention to who they are and like they matter to you. That's like, it's so easy to do and it makes such a huge difference, especially if you're their leader or you're their boss or somebody in a position of power to them, right? So writing down a name can be really powerful. If you're in an interview, do this. Write people's names somewhere in your cheat sheets or on the margins, so it helps you keep afloat who's who. And later on, when you're sending emails corresponding, you'll be really sharp in thanking the right people. But also, you definitely want in the moment to be addressing people by their correct names. Sometimes that also comes with salutations like Mr. or Doctor or such and such. Make sure you write all of that down. But my number 1 pro tip, I like to save the very best for you at the end. My number 1 pro tip for remembering a name is just, it's so good. And unfortunately, a lot of people really struggle with this. You have to listen. The way that you remember other people's names is by listening. And you listen and you show that you care by being present, completely present in conversation, even when it's really noisy, even when there's so much else attention grabbing for you in that moment, even when you're at a busy cacophony like a conference or networking event and you can see the person that you really wanted to connect with right? In the periphery of your view, you can see them like wandering off. Oh my goodness, are they actually leaving the conference room? Do not be tempted to look away from the person in front of you. Do not be tempted to stop listening to the person in front of you. You're with them for a very particular reason, probably a reason that's bigger than the one that you imagine in that specific moment, and one that might be life-changing, but you're not going to experience all of that and be present to it unless you can be present in the moment and meet them in the eye and listen with everything inside of you, because that is the way that we retain things that matter to us, and also convey to other people, like, listen, you're really important to me. I'm here to take everything that you have to say in, and I'm not going to forget your name because I'm listening, like my life depends on it. All right, we don't have to be super dramatic, not like that, but I'm listening like it really matters to me, because it does. So thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. If this is really interesting to you and you would like some more hacks of how to show up in moments where public speaking skills are really called for example, in networking events, or if you're interviewing for a new job or asking for a raise, my friend, guess what? Those are public speaking skills. Or maybe you really are in front of an audience and you're sweating bullets and you need to pitch to investors. I have a 7-day course specifically to help walk you through your signature story so you're able to get people to take action. Action like giving you a pay raise. When we like that, ka-ching. Action like. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, use the link below. It's in the show notes, in the description box. And I hope to see you inside of the 7-day course. It's completely free, and it walks you through how to tell your signature story, how to share your signature story, where to share your signature story, how to craft your signature story, and how to share it in such a powerful way that people listen to you with the same rapt attention that you are giving to them. Hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for being here.
Was that useful? You want to go even deeper? I'd love to support you. My coaching program can help you make money and spark action whenever you speak with intention. Book time to chat using the link in the description box below. Also, leave a comment if this video offered something you needed to hear today, or if you have a question you want me to unpack in next week's episode. Fresh episodes drop every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to get a notification so you never miss a beat. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that your story matters. And I'm here to help you stand out from the stage to the page.